Hey friends, this is Dolynny TV. Glad to have you back from the couch and crossfield as the Edmonton Oilers still yet to get to anything major. Obviously, the Oilers fanatic had your big weekend rundown for everything going on. Still not much going on in terms of the Edmonton Oilers and real, actual, hard, concrete news when it comes to one Connor McDavid or anything else goaltending or anything you might want to still check off the list before the regular season kicks off. So what we do know right now for the Oilers is there's going to be quite a few new guys in camp. Of course, there was a lot made early on in Stan Bowman's tenure last summer where, hey, European free agents are going to be a big add to this Edmonton Oilers roster over the next year. That was delivered upon kind of during the NHL playoffs for the Edmonton Oilers. And there's two guys that are going to be really interesting. Obviously, you could add in Josh Szymanski into the deal as well. But I will tell you right now, David Tomasek and of course Atro Leppanen are going to be the two most important pieces to watch in training camp for two pieces of the aspect here. Tomasek, obviously, probably the best guy we brought over with the best chance to make the NHL roster this year. And Tomasek, obviously, a guy who absolutely dominated overseas as well last year. Atro Leppanen, the reason why you want to be watching him is simply for the situation where he is a top offensive tier talent, a guy that is taking strides year after year over there in, I believe it was Finland this past year. Yeah, Finland. He led the SM Liga in scoring. So hopefully for him, he can step into a Bakersfield Condors role where, again, finding that offense on the blue line for Bakersfield would be absolutely massive. Having somebody of an Evan Bouchard caliber back there, not only to run the power play for Bakersfield, but also to sit there and kind of produce 5-on-5 offensive stats would be really, really impressive as well. So then that would lead him to obviously be in line for a call up either this year or sometime very early next year, depending on what the actual plan from an Edmonton Oilers perspective is and how the defense stays healthy over the course of the season. But Atro Leppanen and David Tomasek, I think, again, when you're looking at training camp and guys who might not necessarily be top end guys in your mind for a battle for a roster spot, right? You've obviously got Noah Philp, who everybody's going to be watching very closely. You've got the situation with Matthias Janmark and whether he'll be traded, whether he'll be demoted, whatever happens there, however the Oilers choose to slice that money. And then you've got a situation as well where you've got two guys in Tomasek and Atro Leppanen who are going to probably hang around training camp for a good long while this year. And the longer they hang around, the more interest they're going to garner, and the more obviously fanfare that's going to be around guys that, join the team, hoping to find a way to win, hoping to find a way to contribute to a team that just needs that little bit of extra bottom six depth, a little bit of extra scoring punch on the defense, and just that little bit of ability to get over that hump that is the Florida Panthers. Whether the Oilers face the Florida Panthers in the Cup final again or not this year, addressing some of the needs and wants to possibly see a third rematch have been done with some of these guys we've signed. Obviously, Josh Szymanski as well, like I was saying off the top, is another name to watch. I think the plan, from what I understand, is for him to hard go to Bakersfield, adjust to the NHL pro game at the AHL level, and then come up as time allows. But for the Oilers, there are going to be some really interesting guys in the organization this year that could really change the direction of where this team's going longer term. Right? Everybody's talking about, oh, the Oilers did nothing to improve for Connor McDavid to show him that he should sign long term. I'll tell you, between Szymanski, Tomasek, and of course Atro Leppanen, there's a lot of cheap talent there that could very well turn into some very high end players for the Edmonton Oilers. I mean, Atro Leppanen, obviously, with Bouchard locked up for the next 4 years, with Wallman going to be locked up for the next several. I don't think you're looking at a top pairing position for Atro Leppanen, but even a number two on the right side could be very beneficial for a guy like Atro Leppanen. And you have to think as well, if the organization makes a call on Ty Emberson and realizes, halfway through the year it's not going to happen, then, you do have Leppanen floating around that could very well probably step in there and at least provide similar defensive numbers, better offensive numbers than Ty Emberson. That said, Ty Emberson's maybe another guy right there under the radar that we keep forgetting about. I know when John Klingberg came into the organization, that kind of pushed him out of the way. But yeah, you know what? For Ty Emerson too, another guy that'll be really interesting to watch at camp. A guy that maybe the organization will value a little bit more come preseason and show a little bit more faith in. I don't know what's going to happen there, but they did obviously sign that extension as well. So we'll have to wait and see. But it's going to be very interesting to see for a lot of fans, and I mean for those of you that watch the videos regularly, you've heard of Tomasek, you've heard of Leppanen, you've heard of Szymanski. But for those more casual fans that come in and come out and go as they please, it'll be interesting to see them kind of get caught up in that fire that is usually the preseason when a guy scores a couple goals in the game and all of a sudden it's like, who's this guy? Where did he come from? Sign him up, put him next to Connor McDavid kind of deal. So whether you are sitting here excited for Ike Howard and Matt Foy, there are some guys on the bottom end of the roster here for the Oilers this year that are going to be an absolute treat to watch, let alone be it in camp or as the season goes along. I think, again, the general consensus is if the Oilers do move out of forward, Tomasek is almost guaranteed a spot. And then I think from there, like I said, if you're just joining us, Atro Leppanen, his whole position is to go run point in Bakersfield, go out there and really show up offensively and really help out a team that last year couldn't fight its way out of a wet paper bag when it came to injuries. So hopefully a more healthy, younger roster in Bakersfield this year, a little bit more of a talented guy on the back end there, points wise, in terms of Atro Leppanen, helps things out and gets things going when it comes to getting the job done at the AHL level and allowing guys like Josh Szymanski, who will be down there the whole year, to develop and grow and step forward at the offensive level on the North American game. So Tomasek, I think, obviously is our biggest question mark as to what he's going to produce at the NHL level because it's likely that he will play at the NHL level. And then, of course, you have everything else in terms of the other guys. I think there's another guy I'm forgetting. We signed him a little later than everyone else. He's going to be in Bakersfield this year as well. Sorella, I think, something like that. We'll get a little bit more honed in here as the season gets closer. But obviously, another quiet weekend here in Edmonton Oilers land, and I appreciate you guys tuning in to the live stream where there's not much happening. There's obviously not going to be much happening for the next little bit. I think orientation camp for the NHL players at the Olympic level is next week, so that should start brewing things up a little bit for the Edmonton Oilers if everything goes according to plan with Connor McDavid and the timeline. So, friends, thank you so much for being aboard here today. Again, if you are new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button. If you've liked the live stream, definitely leave a like as well. And of course, let me know in the comments section below how excited you are for David Tomasek and of course Atro Leppanen. I know some of you might be sitting here saying, what about Josh Szymanski? You tell me, what about Josh Szymanski? So for right now, friends, I encourage you to also go check out Patrick's update from this weekend over on the Oilers Fanatic. Just watched that myself, sitting down, winding down from the Derby last night. So yeah, absolutely go check that out, and we'll catch you here in a little bit. So thank you. I'm up on out of here.